Hi there, and welcome to Enterprise Integration for Power Users. In today's abnormal world, it has become increasingly common for users to source and implement solutions without any help from IT. While that power is great for the individual users or teams, it tends to create pockets of data for the organization that generally don't talk to each other. Well, that's where iPaas and eOne solutions come in. Now, the world of technology is full of acronyms. Sometimes those acronyms spread like wildfire, like BI did, and then start being used to represent all kinds of different things. Other times they slowly creep into the conversation. One that's been entering into the conversation more and more often lately is iPaas. But what is it and why do we need to know?
iPass simply stands for Integration Platform as a Service. And an iPass is essentially a way to bring cross-platform applications, again, both on-premise systems and cloud-based applications together in one place.
iPass is a platform or tools that can integrate data coming from different software applications that can be, deployed within or across different environments, whether that would be like on-premise or in the cloud. Examples would be eOne's suite of integration products and Smart Connect and PopDoc.
iPass has been around since subscriptions were invented, for the most part, from my point of view. Anything you need to pay for as an ongoing service that allows you to go ahead and actually integrate and remove that data around. That's how long that iPass has been here for.
iPass has really been around ever since cloud computing really came around, and there's been a need to integrate and report from that. And I'd say really about the last 15 years, there's been an exponential growth in this space and the need to bring those disparate systems together as a number of external apps grow at each company, every day.
eOne Solutions has been doing iPaas for over 20 years. We have two products, Smart Connect and PopDoc, that fit into our iPaas offering. When you're considering an iPaas solution, it's important to look at the flexibility, ease of use for non-technical users, and how it fits into your overall business automation strategy.
Since before iPaas was called iPaas, eOne has been busy defining what an integration as a platform service should be. We've built the tools that you need to own the new abnormal space. Whether your consultants have acquired their own timesheet system that you need to integrate with your project accounting solution, or your salespeople just need to know whether or not that invoice has been paid, eOne has the tool for you. We at eOne see integration as a spectrum, and as such we have two offerings in our iPaas platform. There's Smart Connect, which provides for the more traditional integration where data is physically copied from one solution to another, and there's PopDoc, providing virtual integration. Virtual integration means that we can present data from any system in any other solution where users are working without having to physically copy it. Let's start off by taking a look at Smart Connect. This is the tool that will allow you to move data from any solution to any other solution, whether they're on the cloud or on-premise.
If I had to describe Smart Connect in one sentence, it's an integration tool that allows you to connect any system you're using to another one and get your data where you need it.
Smart Connect's a pipeline. I describe Smart Connect as the pipeline between two systems. How do you get data from one system to another easily?
One of my favorite features of Smart Connect is the data transformation portion of it, which means that you as an end user, you don't have to have perfect data coming into Smart Connect. We can actually do that transformation of the data so it matches what you need in the destination as part of the Smart Connect integration process. So it removes a lot of the need to go ahead and manipulate that data before you start working with it as part of your integration.
Additional columns in Smart Connect provide an easy way for users to deal with the common issues they're going to run into while building integrations between two different solutions. While I'm creating an additional column, I have many different choices as far as the type of issue I'm going to run into. And for the most part, these are all no-code solutions. For example, a date calculation, which I'm on right now, provides a user with two drop-downs. In the first drop-down, the user will identify what the date format is in the source solution that they're getting the data from, and in the second drop-down, they'll identify what the date format needs to be when pushing into my destination. You'd be surprised how many date formats there are out there on the internet. Some others that you could use here that are no-code solutions are things like our OData field lookup, which allows me to look up data from my destination system that maybe hasn't been included within my source file. The only code-based solution that's on here is calculation. This allows you to go beyond what some of the no-code solutions do. So if you do run into a more complex issue with your data. Maybe you have to add some logic to return a particular value. You can do that using JavaScript in our cloud product. If you are using Smart Connect on-premise, the calculated fields would be done using VB.NET or C#.
Another favorite feature of Smart Connect would be the different tasks that we allow you to do around each integration. So not only are you able to go ahead and import your data wherever it needs to go, or synchronize it up, you also are able to go ahead and add an email alert if something goes wrong. You can add a Teams message to alert somebody that a new PO has been created in your system, or whatever else you might need. And with those tasks on the Smart Connect integrations, you're able to go ahead and expand beyond just the data integration part of it and really build the rest of your solution out with that integration.
It's pretty rare that an integration will be a simple map that pushes data from one place to another. Quite often you'll need to write back to the data source, or you might need to take that same data source and write it to multiple destinations. It's even more rare that you'll have an integration that runs perfectly every time. Even if there's no technological issues, there's very often data issues that will need to be dealt with. For example, the period that you're trying to post that journal entry to might be closed. The customer you're trying to create that sales order for might be on hold. There's any number of data issues that you'll need to deal with. Those issues are where map tasks come in. We have several types of map tasks that you can run. For example, I might need to run another integration. As I mentioned, I might be taking the same data source and pushing it to multiple destinations. I might be running a script. For example, I might be setting some global variables, creating batch IDs. I might be downloading files that I need to use as a source for a future integration. If you notice at the bottom of those lists, we also have 4 different ways that we can communicate with our end users. We can send emails, but we can also send messages to Teams, Slack, or Trello. This makes sure that we can poke the right person in the belly button when it's time to deal with those errors. So when I see that that transaction can't be imported because the period is closed, who do I notify so that they can go and fix whatever needs to be fixed? As I indicated throughout my examples, we've also got different times that these tasks can be run. So me sending a message to Teams could happen before my integration if I really wanted it to, although that's normally where I'd run a script. It might happen while the document is being processed. So before the document gets processed or after the document has succeeded or failed. And in our case, think of a document as an individual record. So the invoice is a document, or the customer is a document, or the timesheet or the payroll entry. We've also got after the entire integration has either had an error or had success. And again, I could be running another integration on success, stuff like that. Because I chose send a message to Teams, I'm simply going to use post failure tasks. Now it's just a matter of making choices. I choose which Teams channel I'm going to write to. I'm going to choose which channel within that team I'm going to write to. And now I have a list of variables that I can use to make that message for my end users. For example, when did the run start? What integration is it? How many records were supposed to get processed and how many of them had an error? The most important one for everybody's knowledge is this global run errors. No matter what your destination is, Smart Connect is going to track the errors that are returned from the destination system. So if it's your ERP and that period hasn't been opened yet, you're going to get back the ERP's error message. If you're running to a CRM, you're going to get the CRM's error message, duplicate records, or whatever other errors you get back from your CRM. If it's a SQL Server, if it's a REST adapter, whatever your destination is, we're just going to tell you what that destination system told us was wrong. As mentioned earlier, Smart Connect is the more traditional move the data end of the spectrum when it comes to integration. Let's take a look at PopDoc, which is providing the virtual integration end of the spectrum.
PopDoc allows you to work with the data you need where you need it. It's the perfect virtual integration tool to add to any iPass strategy.
So PopDoc is a platform that lets you view or share any data you need where your end users need it. So you can get it to show up in a PopDoc list itself. You can go ahead and let users go ahead and pull that back into any other platform they happen to be using. And I did not do that in one sentence, but that's all right.
PopDoc is a great solution. It gives end users the power to report, filter, and export data from multiple systems in one unified interface. PopDoc fits into the overall eOne iPass strategy by bringing data together from multiple systems and then giving you the capability of using virtual integration to display that information in your system of choice.
The feature that Chris is referring to here is the PopDoc widget. PopDoc widgets allow you to embed PopDoc functionality inside of any other solution. So not only are you embedding the data, but you're actually embedding the entire functionality that PopDoc allows you to provide. If you notice over here on the right-hand side of this screen, if I click on refresh, you'll see Skippy start to skip. This is a PopDoc widget. So it's not only just displaying data from another solution. In this case, I'm displaying Business Central data inside of my Dynamics CRM without having had to import that data into CRM in the first place. But I can actually ask questions of this data. I can filter the data simply by selecting here and selecting a field to filter on with an unlimited number of filters there. I can add new columns. I can remove columns from the list simply by dropping this down and unchecking them. I can even group on the fly. So if I wanted to group based on something like package tracking number here, I could select that and see which invoices were included in any given package that went out. It goes over and above this, though. It's not just about ERP data being embedded inside my CRM. I could have something like my tickets coming from my help desk solution. So again, I'm looking at tickets that are associated with the specific account that I'm on, and I have that same ability to filter. I have that same ability to add columns and ask questions, but I didn't have to import these tickets. So with a PopDoc widget, I can, again, expose any data from any solution, allow my users to work with that data, and give them all the information they need.
Another feature I love is the ability to take action on that data, whether it's sometimes seeing the exceptions, maybe it's drilling down to another system, or running a process to create or update records across systems. It's a great utility to provide that interaction.
Another one of my favorite features inside of PopDoc is the query builder for Business Central. So one of the big issues, especially on the tech side, with moving to Business Central Cloud is you don't have access to your tables anymore, your SQL tables. And the query builder allows you essentially a way to build your new queries or your views that you would generally with SQL tables, except you're doing it through BC Cloud, and lets you grab the services you want. We publish a new API, makes it really easy to go ahead and pull exactly the data you need.
By now, it should be clear that the eOne Solutions team has been working tirelessly to lead the way in the definition of iPaas. With a heavy focus on simple-to-use, low-code solutions, both SmartConnect and PopDoc have a proven track record of helping everyday users solve everyday problems that could previously only be solved by solution developers. Whether you need to keep your accounts and customers in sync, create tasks in your project management solution, or just tell your team whether or not that invoice ever got paid, eOne Solutions is covering you on every aspect of the integration spectrum.
The combination of PopDoc and SmartConnect together give you everything you need to report and display information from multiple systems, whether it's just gaining visibility using virtual integration or by moving that data via more traditional integration.
If you're using both SmartConnect and PopDoc together, with those two solutions, we're able to go ahead and get the data that's important to you, and it allows you to move it to the system you need when you need it, and where you want to view that. So whether we're fully moving the data between system and system with SmartConnect, or if we're just allowing users to go ahead and share and view that data in different locations with PopDoc, by using the two together, we're able to go ahead and build out that full solution that fits your business needs.
So we aren't necessarily, I think, a one-size-fits-all strategy. I think our product suite allows us to customize and create a solution based on what the customer needs, whether that be traditional integration or via virtual integration or a combination of both. I also think, being that our solutions are low code, no code, we're designed to be implemented by a consultant versus a developer, and have a lot of functionality for the end user as well.
Thank you all for attending this session today. If you want to do a little more research on anything you've seen here, or you'd like to see the many other features of PopDoc and SmartConnect, please swing by smartconnect.com or popdoc.com. You could also reach out to the eOne Solutions team at sales@eonesolutions.com if you have any questions about your specific scenario.